How's it going, guys? So recently my Orange TH100 sound stopped working. Took a little troubleshooting. First thing I tried was swapping the HT fuse on the back. To get the HT fuse out, we're gonna need a flathead screwdriver. We're gonna set it in, give it a little twist. It'll pop out a little bit, and then we'll pull it out the rest of the way. I recommend using two hands, but I'm doing this here one-handed. We'll pull the fuse out of its housing. And as we can see here, the fuse is clearly blown. It's no longer connected. The HT fuse inside of my TH100 is a T1.6 AL 250 volt. I got a pack of those off Amazon. I'll have a link in the description for those. Whatever fuse is in your amp, you want to make sure to match. Fuse is there to protect the rest of the circuitry. Getting a higher or lower amp breaking fuse could potentially damage your equipment. So the fuse is there to protect it. I recommend getting the exact same fuse and replacing it that way. So from here, I put the HT fuse back in, powered it on, let the tubes warm up, click the switch, bright light. So at that point, I knew that the fuse wasn't the only problem and that, in fact, the output tubes needed to be replaced. We got some tubes ordered. Let me show you how to put those in. The first step is we're gonna spin this boy around and take off 4 screws on the back grate. Get those off. Then from there, we're gonna set the amp on its head and we're gonna remove the 4 feet. The 4 feet actually hold the amplifier in the case. So we'll take those feet off. We can just slide that casing right off. Nice and easy. So pretty straightforward. We're gonna flip the amp back upright now that we've removed the casing. And we can see the 4 tubes are here. They just have little housings that hold them in. So we're gonna pull off, gently pull the spring over the top, jiggle the tube out, toss these old tubes. Now the tubes I'm pulling out are Ruby EL34 BSTRs. I believe that's what Orange uses direct from the factory. Unfortunately, those are pretty difficult to get or you can't really find them. I would have loved to place the tubes with the exact same, For replacement tubes, I picked up these Tungsol EL34Bs. It's a matched quad. That means the manufacturer spent time going through and matching each tube so that it'll have around the same idle plate current. Essentially what that means is you'll get better sound quality, you'll get a little bit more longevity out of the tubes because they have a similar current running through all of them. Now we'll pull our fresh tubes out of the box. So as you'll note, on the base of the tube, there's actually a little raised bit. And we're gonna line that raised bit in with the slot, and that tube will just gently slot right into its housing, throw the spring back over top, and we'll repeat that for the other couple tubes. Give them a little jiggle, make sure they're all in there secure. From there, we'll set the unit back on its side, the housing back over the top, and we'll put the feet back in. I found that just by pulling on the silver bar inside the amp, just to give it a tiny bit more height to sort of line up the screw and the feet, worked pretty well for me. That's a very safe place to grab the little silver bar. Tilt it upright. We'll put our 4 screws back in with the orange grate on the back side. Next, we'll replace the HT fuse one more time. Make sure that's nice and snug in there. Pop the power cord in and flip her on. Now for the new tubes, you'll definitely want to give it at least 2 or 3 minutes to just warm up. Make sure the tubes are nice and powered, so that we're not sending voltage shock through them or anything. And once it's powered up, we'll flick it on and see if it worked. There we go. If you guys found this video helpful, be sure to leave a like, subscribe. Let me know what tubes you picked up in the comments below. I was looking at Electro Harmonics, JJs, I was looking at a bunch of different options. I ended up going with the Tungsol. People on Reddit and Gearspace like those. See you guys on the next one.